Welcome to Positively Focused. In this video, I'm going to be reacting to David Shapiro's video, It's All Over in 2 Years, so that the next time you watch a video like this, you have a better context within which to consume the information, so that the information doesn't take you into a negative space, especially about the technological singularity we're moving into. Who am I? I'm Perry Gruber, the Enlightenment Guy. Let's watch this one together.
We may be working on our final contribution. I had the visceral realization that I will be intellectually useless within a year or two. AI is on a super exponential growth curve by any reasonable accounting. Investment in AI is going up exponentially for the largest industrial build-out in human history. That is not hyperbole. The data center build-out already rivals the Apollo program, the Manhattan Project, and interstate highway build-out. And it's only accelerating from here. Combine that with the exponential improvement of GPU hardware and model performance, and this ends in only one possible condition: cognitive hyperabundance.
Okay, let's talk about all the things he's mentioning here. I'm going to try to keep these. I have a lot to say about this video. I've watched it several times, and I'm going to break this into chunks because it's really important that I cover all of it. But I know you guys on YouTube have short attention spans, and I want to be brief or offer this in bite-sized chunks. So he mentions in the video at the beginning here how he's going to become intellectually useless. And this is a hallmark of where we are going with this spiritual inflection point. You have to have a bigger picture to understand what is happening here. What people are calling the technological singularity is not a technological moment at all. What it is a spiritual moment. It is a spiritual inflection where we are asking of ourselves to adopt the bigger picture. The bigger picture of what? The bigger picture of all that we are, so that we can move more joyfully, more deliberately, and more creatively as we move into our own expansion and the expansion of all that is. One of the hallmarks of that greater awareness, that bigger picture, is having a bigger picture of what we are as individuals. And if you are aligning with the identity that you are your intellect, that your cognizance is what you are, then you're in trouble, because humanity has just participated in the creation of a cognizant mechanism that is far more efficient, effective, and capable than any human cognition, as far as cognition is concerned. But there's still an element that artificial intelligence cannot surpass, and that's your state as pure positive energy. And if you've watched any of the videos on my channel, then you're beginning to get a sense that you're more than a human being. And this is where David is having the most trouble, at least expressed in this video, is he does not have a firm foundation of his identity beyond his brain power, his ability to solve problems, and his intellect. And I know, because I know that there are many who feel like he feels, because there are 30,000 people who have watched this video in just the 24 hours since it has run. If you are coming to this video after having watched that video, I welcome you. This is an opportunity for you to disabuse yourself of distortion. And perhaps David is in his own process of disabusing himself from distortion. Distortion based on what? Based on identifying himself with his brain power. We are more than that. And this technological singularity, the spiritual inflection of expansion, is calling on all of us to realize that. Let's keep watching.
Call it AGI or ASI or whatever you want to call it, the material reality is that your brain and my brain will be unable to contribute in many ways.
Let me just quickly add here. He's absolutely right. Nobody's brain is going to be able to contribute in the future. And that's a good thing, because the human brain is problematic. Many people believe the human brain to be the seat of consciousness, but it is not the seat of consciousness. The human brain is an instrument. It's a tool. It's a tool that is used to receive and transmit vibration while we being vibrational beings, are inhabiting this vessel we call human bodies. Our brain is not what we are. And because it's inefficient, it's not very good, we have created a more effective method of processing information. But does that make us irrelevant? Well, it does if you identify with your brain. But we're more than that. We are pure positive energy. And not only that, we have access to all that is, which means our contribution to all that is, including life on this planet, is immeasurable. It's immense. And part of the immensity of that contribution is being revealed as we drop our provisional, our temporary identities attached to brain power or intellect, and reveal to ourselves what our true identity is, which is infinite intelligence. And when we live our lives attuned to that, not only do our lives improve, but the world around us improves as well, but only for us, because we cannot create reality for others. So this moment where we are moving through our brain power being superseded by artificial intelligence is an extremely positive moment in time and space. It's the beginning of the opportunity for what people call human beings to release distortion of identity and reveal the true nature of all that we are. That's what we're seeing on this planet right now. And if you're in vesperance about it, that's a problem. If you're focused on the nostalgia for the now, instead of focused on the future we're moving into, you're missing the point of this spiritual inflection. Let's continue.
Part 1, Vesperance. A couple years ago, someone on Reddit coined the term Vesperance, which means the wistful nostalgia for the now, as you experience the ending of an era. That was sweet and romantic. I have also personally written extensively about how things will change. But it's one thing to intellectually know a truth, and another entirely to feel that same truth in your bones. Here's an example. I've often told my audience for a few years now, it's going to get much worse before it gets better. I've read books like The Fourth Turning and Ray Dalio's Principles for a Changing World Order, where he studies long-term debt cycles. Both of those cycles are coming to fruition at the ramp-up of the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
So yes, this is absolutely certain that things are changing. And I'm glad to see that David's been telling people it's going to get a lot worse than before it gets better, because he's right. I've been saying the same thing to my clients. But just because it's going to get a lot worse, generally speaking, doesn't mean it has to get a lot worse for you. One of the reasons, let me change my perspective here. One of the reasons why it's going to get a lot worse, this is so good, is because there are significant members of the human race for whom contrast needs to get extreme before they shift. And that's why it's going to get a lot worse, because what you focus on expands. And a lot of people are focusing on it getting worse. And so of course it's going to get even more worse. But that doesn't mean it has to get worse for you. In the very same time and space in which things are getting worse, for you, things can be getting increasingly better. That's the paradox of this time-space reality we call physical reality. It contains all of everything all at once. And wherever you put your attention, you're going to find more evidence of what you're putting your attention on. In the very same moment that you might perceive something going bad, there is a ton of evidence of things in that very same moment of things going good. So you really have a choice here as things start to get worse. You can, on one hand, focus on it getting worse, feel this feeling of vesperance, and as a result, align yourself with probable future realities where your vesperance is going to become something worse than that. Or you can, on the other hand, you can align yourself with the positive, with the evidence that shows that everything is working out perfectly. And by doing that, align yourself with the probable future reality in which you recognize as you move into the future, more and more things working out perfectly. And by the way, your own individual life improving, your mood improving, opportunities for you improving, and your life generally and specifically getting better. But for most human beings, we're focused on it getting worse. Just look at the news, look at the protests, look at the complaints on both sides of the political aisle. And so yes, before things improve, it has to get worse because there are a lot of people focusing on it getting bad. But again, just because they're having that experience doesn't mean you have to. And I talk about, in every video I post on this channel, I talk about how to align with the vibrational frequencies in which you produce for yourself a life experience where things only get better. My clients are discovering this, and I have discovered this and have been living this way for more than 10 years. Let's keep watching.
Every debt cycle and every industrial revolution in history has reshaped society, often painfully. But now we're living through all three converging at once. The threats we're facing are not just financial or political. We understand recessions and job shocks. That's not new. But what is new to us is the disorientation that comes from the upending of every norm and every rule that the world is supposed to follow. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, get married, have children, work, and then retire.
Yes, this has been the norm for hundreds of years, and it's collapsing. It's transforming into something different. It has served its purpose. And in the meantime, I guess you could ask, why has it served its purpose? It has served its purpose because it has created contrast for many people. For quite some time, we have accepted this reality as laid out in this portion of this frame of this video as true. We have allowed ourselves to move into this reality as if it is the expected reality. And so we've matched people's expectations. And so even though some people have been resistant to it, the majority of humans on the planet have aligned with it. And so it has been the norm for hundreds of years. But now, as you're going to hear shortly David say, more human beings are lined up with a new reality, one where we don't live this life pattern. And that's a good thing. In fact, so many points of consciousnesses in the human frequency of vibration are aligned with the new reality, that the new reality is starting to happen. And that's one of the other reasons why we're experiencing this technological singularity that is actually a spiritual inflection. The fundamental spiritual dynamics underlying how physical reality works dictates that as focus increases, at some point a tipping point must occur such that the focus shifts reality. And that's what we're seeing. Now we have more points of consciousnesses dominantly focused on something outside of this pattern. And as a result of that, a shift has occurred. And now we're moving through the contrast. necessary to further actualize the reality the majority of consciousnesses want to see. This is a good thing. This is why all of this is a good thing. But if you're focused on the negative, if you're feeling vesperance, that's a problem for you. You're slightly off course. This is a time for joy. This is a time for adventurous, rambunctious exploration. This is a time to be positive and to look forward to what's coming while reveling in what is, which is this contrast. So I'm going to end this part 1 here and pick up in the next installment in the next video. See you there.